Hi, in this video I will explain what confidential voice is, how we produce it and when it can be useful. So the term confidential voice is used to describe a voice that is quiet in volume. The vocal folds come together gently with reduced pressure and the muscles above the vocal folds stay fairly relaxed, creating quite an open throat. And this type of gentle voicing can be really useful when the vocal folds are healing. After surgery, you'll be advised to rest your voice completely for about 48 hours, but then after this time, you should start to use your voice again. And this is the perfect time for confidential voice. So use confidential voice between days 3 and 7 following surgery, or also if you just feel your voice needs a break or a rest, some additional care. It's a good idea to practice using confidential voice before your surgery so that it's familiar to you and so that you know how to use it when it's needed. Now also, if you have a lot of inflammation on your vocal folds, it can be really useful to use confidential voice in the week leading up to your surgery to allow some time for that inflammation to settle and avoid additional trauma to the vocal folds before you have your operation. So what is confidential voice? Well, we normally say the best thing to do is to imagine that you're talking to somebody quietly, you're saying something private to a friend, and we want to hear a quiet, easy voice, but not a breathy voice, not a voice where we can hear lots of air coming through. Do not whisper, just use a gentle, quiet voice. So I'll demonstrate by counting from 1 to 5 in different types of voices. First, here is a voice that is too loud with too much press in the voice. The vocal folds come together too firmly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sounds very pressed and too high in volume. Now I'll demonstrate confidential voice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, I'm going to do also a quiet voice, but one that is too breathy, has too much air, almost like a whisper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And finally, I'll demonstrate confidential voice again. Quiet, easy, gentle voice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you're using your voice after surgery, try to check in and think, what kind of voice am I using? Sometimes it can help to tell other people around you what you're doing so they can remind you if you accidentally go too loud or start using too strong a voice. And when you're practicing confidential voice, notice not only how it sounds, but how it feels. As we said before, it should feel comfortable in the throat. Do not feel like you're pushing or forcing from here. You can start by practicing counting or saying the days of the week, and then just try focusing on using confidential voice when you're having a short conversation with a friend or family member, or even if you're reading something aloud, a book or a magazine. And keep checking that it sounds quiet and that it feels comfortable in the throat.